I gotta poop. No, we're back in.
I see in your future you will poop.
Give me a hot minute. I've realised I don't have the script or anything up.
Don't forget to hit that like button.
Get out.
Subscribe.
Be gone. Okay, nice.
Yeah, for Hunter x Hunter, I think when it came up, I think there's one person who actually listened to it whole way through.
Wow.
Whoa.
Like from the analytics, it was like, oh, like average viewership was like 57 minutes, basically the whole
Wow.
podcast. I was like,
I'm amazed.
Amazing. Thank you.
Random stranger. Nice. Okay. Welcome everyone to OCHATO, the fortnightly podcast where we drink tea and review manga. I am Oliver.
And I'm Jade.
And I'm Suellen.
Every 2 weeks, we pick a manga that one of us has recommended, and we read up to a certain chapter and discuss the manga with a megaton of spoilers. This week, we are reading Styx Family by Tatsuya Endo up to chapter and including chapter 23, recommended by me. But before diving in, we must know the answer to the most important question. What is everyone drinking? Jade, it looks like you've stolen whatever you were drinking.
Just checking out these filters, man.
It's very
yeah, that's what I was thinking, like a kind of, espionage kind of.
I see.
And also I've never had these Zoom filters before, so I thought I'd check them out because I've never had them. I am drinking orange and lotus flower green tea.
Ooh, I liked all of that until you said green tea.
Yeah, it was the only tea that I had left because basically I don't have any milks in my fridge, so I just had to go with like a, just like a herbal tea or so it tastes nice. It was the last tea bag in the packet, so it's good that I've used up that box now, because sometimes I find that just teas just take up so much space in my cupboard, and I'm a bit of a hoarder, so like I buy all these new teas and then I don't really drink some of them because either I need milk or like I need to be in the mood or something like that. So it's sort of like, not a special occasion, but it's just good to just finish it. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
Now Suellen and Ollie both have mustaches. So
I have one normally. Don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Ellen, I'm impressed you managed to grow a mustache so quickly there.
in the last 5 minutes. I know, right? It's the tea that I'm having.
I see. And what is that tea?
Watermelon Oolong.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yes, this is from Dodger Coffee Company. It's got oolong tea, papaya pieces, plum, safflower petals, and natural flavors, presumably watermelon flavored.
I'd hope so. What would you rate it out of 10?
Yeah, I think it's a good 8 or 7.
Nice.
It smells incredible, the watermelon, but I guess with any like flavored tea, it's it never like tastes as good as it smells. You have to actually put in sugar or something to really enhance it, but it's tea, so we won't do that.
For me, I've been a bit less interesting. I've got a Pucker Turmeric Gold. It's quite nice. Nothing special, but it's pretty good. Would recommend. That was nice. It's a bit less fruity or minty than many of the other ones they do. Okay, all right. So let's talk about Styx Family. This is a manga that's been going since 2019. It's kind of an action comedy one. It follows one of our protagonists called Loid, who works as an undercover spy, and through various means ends up adopting a daughter, Anya, who he tries to get into this really prestigious school. And then they realize also, oh my lord, we need a mum. And so they happen to pick up this woman called Yor, who just so happens to be an assassin. And then just to top it all off, Anya, the daughter, is a telepath. Not sure how to pronounce correctly, actually. So you get this very interesting family dynamic. But I'm really curious. What were your first impressions when you read this?
I didn't know what to expect because I had never heard of this series before. So, I was going into it, not knowing anything. But, the more I read, even from the start, I just thought this is, it was a bit, it was setting the scene at the start. So I didn't expect it to be sort of like comedic, like, really, really funny from the get-go. But as I read on, I just thought this is one of the funniest, well-balanced manga I've ever read. I love it. I just wanted to keep reading on. So
nice.
Those are my first impressions.
High praise. How about you, Suellen?
Yeah, for me, it's I heard about this when it just started to come out, being released in Shonen Jump. I've been anticipating it, so I knew what it was about, and I made it a point to know when it comes out. So because the premise sounded really interesting, and I was really excited to read it. And I guess I had a certain expectation when I started reading it, and it did not disappoint me at all. In fact, I think, it exceeded it because it's like everything about it is so well executed from the get-go, the plot, the characters, the comedy, the art, just overall, even from the get-go, I was impressed, and couldn't wait to keep on reading.
Nice. Awesome. I, like you, picked it up when it came out and was kind of following it week by week up until maybe chapter 30. I really like, obviously, given that I was following it week by week, I really enjoyed it too. I thought it was an interesting concept, and you get that extra kind of level of deception that you may not get in I guess some other stories, which I found really enjoyable. So, talking about our characters, we have of course Loid, the spy, Anya, the telepath, Yor, the assassin, and then in the later chapters, I think introduced in chapter maybe 22 or 21, we have Bond, the dog, who's adorably fluffy and has a bow tie collar.
Psychic dog.
Yeah. What did you think of the characters and the ways they interacted?
I thought that, so clearly Twilight is very focused on his mission.
Twilight being Loid.
Loid, yes. Mm-hmm. So even though he is, focused on his mission, he's still, trying his hardest to just integrate this other life that he is now sort of having to deal with due to the mission into his current, spy life. I thought the mangaka tied those two different lives together really well. And, how they all kind of don't really know about each other, except for Anya, although she's just in awe and, wide-eyed, but just doesn't really tell anyone. I thought that, I've never been a spy or an assassin or an esper.
Would you believe what a spy or assassin would say?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I'm really not here on a secret mission at all. You have to believe me, guys. But, I like to think that the way that their lives are depicted are very sort of, I want to believe that it's accurate. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I want to, it seems like this is what people would do, like spies would do, and assassins and stuff, and they have this sort of, they have to sort of cover themselves. I thought that the characters were represented very well, but I would have liked to see a bit more of Yor's work as an assassin, because I feel like we've seen a lot of Twilight, but I want to see more of what she does. We saw a little bit when she went in and made all these people sleep, and then sort of left and then came home. But I want to see more of that. Yeah,
I was in fact thinking the exact same thing. We've had a lot of Loid's work and his motivations for doing what he does, and we've had Anya's motivations, having been an orphan, and then basically she wants to keep this family together because she loves them, and she loves she loves having a family. And then Yor seems, initially started going with this because she said that she had a boyfriend and then had to kind of follow through. It would be really interesting seeing some more of her motivation, or maybe having her motivation change for why she wants to remain in the family. Clearly, she's quite protective of Anya, as we've seen in quite a few of my favorite sequences. But I do agree, it would be nice to see more of Yor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as someone I think I read a bit more ahead than you, Ollie, like 40 chapters. I'm only 4 or 5 chapters behind. I think, yeah, we get some more sort of stories that are sort of based on Yor's job, I think.
Nice.
One particular arc, I want to say, like a mini arc. So, yeah, I think, you know, it is getting there. I think maybe the mangaka did realize, you know, there's a lot to build on, a lot to flesh out. And to be fair, I feel like even in this 23 chapters, it feels like we're still getting introduced to new characters like Yuri, Yor's brother, and Bond as well. We were just introduced to Bond. So there's going to be a lot more story points and missions and kind of Mr. Mrs. Smith situation. I wonder, I guess one thing I guess I like to see is that we're seeing sort of the family sort of bonding and having these little sort of moments where they're grateful for each other, or, you know, get to know each other backstories a bit more. But I feel like there's just something missing, right? Like I can see the mangaka is trying to lead the road down where, you know, maybe eventually they decide after their mission finishes, they do want to continue as a family. But yeah, I don't know, like how they're planning to, you know, carry that forward, because even now in like 40 chapters in, I don't see, and like I see like a platonic bond between Yor and Loid. Maybe they become like just official guardians and that'll be it. But if the intention is like a romantic route, I don't see it just yet.
Yeah.
Like the bond with Anya are really cute, and I think it's working out great. It just between the two of them, I just don't sense anything.
Indeed, it would be nice to see a little more romance between the two of them. There's like a scene where Yuri comes over, and Yor and Loid touch hands, and they're both like, "Woo," which kind of gives us some insight. But it would be nice to have a lot more of that, and a lot more actions, not words, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting to see where it goes. Yuri, interestingly, was the only kind of issue I had with the plot so far.
Oh yeah, right.
He's Yor's brother, and he's very, very into Yor, like very much so. And I can understand his anger when he finds out that his sister's been married for a whole year and not even told him. But I think he takes it a little far, and I think he's also a bit too attached to her, which is not necessarily my favorite trope. I would prefer them going with, because he's also like a secret agent. He's like one of the almost the evil people. And I think that there is plenty of motivation to be found there for him wanting to know more about their relationship, rather than necessarily him being like, "This is my sister, stay away," kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because again, it's another really interesting character role that somebody can hold, where they're related to somebody and they're also basically a secret agent. So of course they want to make sure that, you know, in this war-torn and espionage-filled world that they're in, you want to make sure that the person that's now married to your sister is you know, an upstanding, fine gentleman, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty there. Why did they have to go with the overly attached brother route? Why?
Oh, Japan.
Dear. But speaking of attachment, I do really like the bond that Yor and Anya have formed, and it's for me very satisfying seeing these moments where Anya tries to like do something good that only she knows about, because only she can hear the thoughts of people in trouble, and then, you know, gets herself way in over her head and then Yor just appears looking like an absolute demon behind her. Those were definitely some of my favorite scenes that we had.
Yeah.
Did you have any? Sorry, go on, Suellen.
I was just going to say, I know there's a specific panel that you're mentioning because
There's one specific panel indeed. Yeah.
I screenshotted it here.
Oh, that one too. Yeah. There's a very angry Yor in the picture that we're being shown by Suellen. Very angry indeed.
Super angry.
Did you have a favorite character interaction? And while you're thinking, I'm just going to give a note to Henry, the guy that's really keen on elegance, when he sees Loid and Anya bust out a second suit after having got muddy, and he's just like, oh, such elegance, and he's like screaming in the background.
Yeah, I think all the sort of bonding moments are cute. But I've also really I think the thing I enjoy the most sort of antics, I guess, in this manga is when the extreme depths that like Loid goes to either complete his mission or just to try to get like Anya on the right track. For example, like he's trying to get Anya to apologize to Desmond for punching him in the face because he was such a bully. And he would just it goes to extreme of shining like a mirror with words on there like, today's fortune, it's a good day to apologize. Or like changing the text in the book very obviously with a piece of paper stuck over like the text the students are supposed to be studying, like, oh, and then John apologized to Sam or whatever, and then they became good friends. Like, oh, that cracked me up so much. But yeah, I guess that's like what's the awesome thing about the manga, like this premise. They really sort of use it in the best way, all the spy antics. So it's never like never just about Anya trying to get close to Desmond. You see a lot of imaginative spy ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a funny moment to me. There's just too many emotional moments. Can you think of any?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I second all of those moments. They're so funny. just the way he's just like looking at her, like apologize. You can do it. And then he's even like, dressing up as, what is it, the janitor or something?
Yep.
Yeah, to like try and get her to apologize. Man. Another bit for me was when right at the beginning when Twilight gets his mission and he thought, oh my god, I have 7 days to make a child. How do I do this?
How do babies work?
And another one I thought a bit more about was when Yuri came around to their house. I was thinking, if I was their neighbor, I'd get no sleep at all. The way they're all like throwing each other around the house, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
definitely.
Just crashing. But apart from that, I love the interactions that Bond has, particularly when he's got these visions, and then Anya can see that Twilight's about to die, and like that was kind of sad. But I thought it was such a genius way of alerting the team by like, what is it, ketchup? Yeah, like she squirted like, and it looked like a pineapple or something. But I thought that moment was super clever.
Agreed. One last little moment I'd like to point out when Damien is initially meeting Anya, Damien being the rich, the scion kid, and he's just being kind of mean to her, and the advice she was given was to smile.
Oh yeah.
And you could see her getting more and more annoyed, but still smiling. And eventually he pushes her too far. And she's still got this lovely smile on, but there's also a little fire in her eye.
I thought that her smile was a bit like, Kaguya when she goes, "Okawaii koto."
Yeah.
You
I'm
know,
actually
like that
wearing
face.
that exact shirt right now.
Oh no way.
I
Perfect.
was actually telling Ollie before the episode start that it just occurred to me that Spy X Family kind of reminds me of Love is War.
Yeah.
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 Like in terms of everything, like the 4D chess, the comedy, like all the character expressions are over the top, and the highlight of all the gags, and how the art's like it's incredibly detailed. I just feel like, if you like Spy X Family, you would also enjoy Love is War, but maybe for different reasons, because slightly different, but the same in the 4D chess and comedy.
Yeah, there's definitely a big parallel there with the characters that know a lot more than they're kind of letting on to the other characters, and then having to play around those and getting put in awkward or difficult situations because of that. Maybe characters also that are a bit too smart for their own good. There's I'd say a little less mind games and a little more espionage in this, in the sense that rather than trying to predict each other's moves to quite the extent they do in Kaguya, it's a bit more like, I straight up have this advantage, like my spy agency, or I can hear what you're thinking, kind of thing, which is definitely a nice kind of twist or a difference between the two. So yeah, agreed with you.
Did anyone else think that the admissions interview day reminded you a bit of the Hunter exam?
Now that you mention it, yes.
Like everyone's gathering, everyone has these like hoops to jump through, people watching them, observing them. We've got the big boss. So yeah,
I would have actually quite liked to have seen, although maybe not, because it might have changed the pacing, a bit more from some of the other families during the entrance exam, as it were.
Like that kid who got stuck.
Yeah, we got that, and we heard a bit about, I think, Damien. But if they're going to be introducing more children, Anya's age, that could have been an excellent time to introduce them, or even just show them. Maybe they have, and we haven't seen them yet.
Well, I'm kind of hoping that, when Anya brings Bond around to Damien's house, then we'll get a bit more of an insight.
That would be nice, definitely.
Yeah.
I do really love the way Bond looks. I think he's very fluffy and cute, but also I think that holds to the art style in general. What were your thoughts on this art style, and how does it compare to some of the other manga we've read? Take, for example, Kaguya.
I'd say very similar to Kaguya. The comedic style with the way that they change how they draw the faces in different circumstances. Like when Yor's really mad, she's really, really mad. And that panel that Suellen you showed, like I thought it looked like something that was straight out of Attack on Titan almost. But when she's got her more comedic moments, she's drawn very differently, and I really like that. It sets the tone, and I like that the expressions convey so much. We know that Anya doesn't want to go back to the home. We know that she wants to stay within the family, and we can really see that, and I really like that it's shown that way.
Agreed. There's also a lot to be said for the fact that the characters still remain quite consistent between the kind of comedic and the more serious art styles. You can still tell it's them very clearly.
Yes.
And also maybe to some extent being able to tell what kind of reaction they're going for based on the art style. Because poor Anya does end up crying quite a bit for various reasons. But it's a difference between, is she crying about something kind of inconsequential, like, she's dropped her ice cream? Or is it something actually really quite meaningful, like she doesn't want to go back to the orphanage? And you can often tell, partly just due to context, but also I think the art style works well both ways.
Yeah, I also really liked how the mangaka captured movement. For example, when Anya is riding Bond to where Twilight is about to be blown up, we really get this sense of urgency as, Bond is drawn as like running really, 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 really fast.
Mm-hmm.
I like how that's conveyed.
Yeah, I just thought, like I said, the art is just incredible. Whether it's expressing sort of characters' emotions or the actions. Yeah, just extremely detailed and easy to follow, actually, because sometimes you can get action scenes that are quite, because there's a lot going on and quite messy. You can't tell whether movement, what it's actually doing, but you can with this, definitely. So yeah, it just, there's just a lot of screenshotable moments that in this manga that you want to sort of relive really, or use as phone backgrounds or icon pictures. It's just so iconic. I think it's going to be one of like the most popular manga that's out recently, I think.
Yeah,
Definitely
I agree. There's also a lot to be said, I guess, for the art style and the fact that it starts very clear. We've seen some manga where the art style's changed quite a bit over time. For example, recently I read basically all of Berserk in a week because I didn't have much to do at work, and the art from when we read in our previous episode compared to much later on is dramatically different. Whereas Tatsuya Endo, I can see, has been kind of drawing manga since about 2000, or at least has published manga since 2000. So, 19 years of experience from when Spy X Family was started is definitely enough to have kind of refined your style, I guess. And I think that shows. So we've already talked a bit about the plot when we were talking about characters, and I don't think it would make too much sense to go through it kind of arc by arc, as it were. But I would like to know, where would you like to see the manga go next in the plot? I'm talking more kind of medium to long term, because I'm aware, Suellen, you've read a little bit further. I've also read a little bit further a while back. I'll first shoot this over to you, Jade.
Yeah, so I think I would like to see Anya become a teenager. And I'd like to...
That's very long term, wow.
Yeah, I hope that we get to that stage, because I feel like it would be interesting seeing how they'd still be interacting. And like, I feel like I'd want to see what they'd be like after after this mission ends, as you guys touched upon earlier. It would be, how will they keep interacting with each other? Will they stay together? Will they be apart but then want to come back together? How will Anya feel? You know what I mean? So I would be interested to see if it transitioned into like more of a slice of life kind of thing, like normal family life, but like mixed in with with this spy thing mixed in. So like a bit like Yotsubato, maybe.
Yeah.
That would be cool to see, but I don't know, because I don't know about you guys, but I feel like once a manga has sort of got its sort of genre, most of them stick to that genre. Or is that, I feel like that's what I've observed.
Generally, yeah, I would agree with you. You have some manga that change genre quite dramatically, but they're definitely the exceptions.
Are you thinking about Boku no Hero?
I was actually thinking about Madoka Magica, but
right.
there are certainly many.
That's purposeful, right?
That is, definitely.
Yeah.
So Ellen, what would you like to see in kind of more medium to long term?
Yeah, because it's quite hard with this type of manga that's, comedy based, because it's like, how seriously can you take it? Because if you have too much plot and, lore, it might take it a bit away from the comedy sense. I mean, you can still slip in jokes here and there. That's not what I'm saying, but I just feel like, I guess because Ollie was talking about Berserk, so I was thinking, like Berserk,
Uh-huh.
I'm sure there are some comedic moments, but the rest of the time it's quite heavily, um, a lot of dark themes. So with this, the mangaka has the potential to keep up the antics where neither of them knows what the others are doing, and they keep helping each other secretly, specifically Anya and Bond. Or they might try to introduce sort of that maybe one of them is letting it slip by accident, and then when are they ever going to reveal to each other, because it seems like they're not, because they have this mission. I'd be interested to see, are they going to keep this up in the long term, or is one of them going to let slip their secret identity?
Surely they must.
Yeah. And I feel like when they do so, it will be towards the end, right? I feel like, because that's when the missions, or at the height of the mission, because I feel like right now they have plenty of time to try to get close to Damien. But, there must be a time where everything's, the stakes are higher and they need to like hurry up, So yeah, it will be interesting to see, how this goes. I'll be sad if after this, Operation Strix, that they just finish the manga, and just it's kind of like a fairy tale-esque ending, like, and they live happily ever after. I would love it if they could just, continue on, like Jade said, like a slice of life or something. But I would also appreciate more political intrigue, I guess, because there's a lot of like politics being like thrown here and there, but it's not something that like a average reader like me who's like not, it doesn't really think, like brain empty when consuming content. So like I skim read it, I get East is spy on the West, or West is spying on the East, like that's like the high level of it. And I don't think even there's not much else to it than that. I feel like there isn't too much there to sort of explore, to dive in, to have an overarching plot. I feel like a lot of focus is just on Anya.
I mean, at the moment, yes. I reckon that if I was choosing the story, if I was doing this, I would have, you've got this mission, and then you have this mission leads to a kind of greater conflict with regards to kind of the West and the East that still involves the Forger family. I also love that they're called the Forger family, and they're just kind of a fake family. But then what you can do is you can have them stay as a unit, because there's no reason for them to not, and they have these kind of advantages. Maybe somewhere along the line have them realise what each other can do to some extent. Maybe the parents, but still not quite get what Anya's doing. And then you can definitely take it in a few different directions. You can have this kind of greater stakes where the two have to work together, but also can't let their agencies know, to kind of keep peace. You can have a whole thing with Yuri and his kind of antagonism. I think some more, as they introduce more characters over time, also that will give us a reason to care about the greater conflict. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what they do, and it will be. I'm immensely looking forward to it, I've got to say. The more panels we can get of Bond, the happier I will be.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So in OCHATO, we have a special section where we take one or more of the characters from the previous manga that we reviewed into this one. And previously, we reviewed the Way of the House Husband. I think we should take our house husband couple and put them in this context. How do you think they'd fare?
Ooh, if we're taking the couple, it's a little bit hard. Well, I can imagine, is his name Tatsu? I can't remember. Or is that the mangaka's name? Wait.
Tatsuya Endo is the mangaka. I don't know if the house husband himself is also called Tatsu or Tatsuya.
I think it's beginning with T as well.
Tatsuya was the husband.
Just Tatsu? I don't
Tatsu,
know.
Okay.
I don't know the names of Japanese names or how they vary.
And who was the wife again?
Miku.
Nice. Okay.
Miku and Tatsu, the couple from The Way of the House Husband. And I can imagine Tatsu training Yor how to be a good wife or a good housewife, you know, like the cooking, because that's like Yor's weakness. Then come on, Tatsu got that, you know, under his belt. He can cook any day, like from desserts to the main course, you know. I can just see a training montage of them training together. And you know what, maybe like Yor would know Tatsu because of, you know, the nature of her job, and that he was an ex-Yakuza, so they would know each other's, you know, real job title from that way. And maybe you know, Tatsu in his mind is thinking, it's good that Yor is retiring, you know, that, you know, she's committing to be a housewife now, but Yor is actually, this is a fake family. She wouldn't let like even Tatsu know why she's doing this. Yeah, I can see potential friendship between them, and perhaps a family dinner with Miku and Tatsu and the Forger family. Yes, to make, you know, from Loid's point of view, he's probably thinking, this is a good way to, you know, disguise our family, to make it seem like we're a normal family and have other couple friends. Because so far we haven't seen them interacting with any other friends or married couple. It seems like they're just an isolated family. So it'd be cute, definitely.
Agreed. I'd also really be interested to see Tatsu and Yor kind of having the same reactions. You know, maybe like Yor being a little clumsy would drop a plate, but then manage this incredible like roundhouse to like catch it with her foot. But then at the same time, Tatsu's done the exact same thing. It would be chaos, and it would be beautiful, I think.
Yeah, I really like your imagined world, Suellen, and I just want to add to that, maybe if Bond and Gin can become friends as well, and they can have their own adventures as well, that would be nice.
That would be funny. It's like, I gotta poop. No, we're back in.
I see in your future you will poop.
Dog just like Bond just like leading him over to the litter tray.
Yeah, I think Loid would be quite suspicious of that too. Like from the get-go, he's like, this man can't be a house husband. Like he looks extremely suspicious. Spy from the east. And then he'll like look at, like follow him, and then he'll be like the police from the way of the house husband, where they think he's like, this guy is up to suspicious. He's like holding the suitcase with drugs. It must be drugs. And then it's just like, was it mushrooms or something?
Yeah,
like,
or he's planning on making a cake with Yor to surprise him.
Yeah, or something. That would be a funny gag.
Do you think Anya would like the non-computerized games?
Like the mahjong and the yeah, maybe. I think, yeah, I think she'll be just like that kid. Like, what am I doing? But I think, I don't know, how would Tatsuya and Anya interact? I think she will find him super cool, obviously, because he's a ex-Yakuza.
I thought she'd find him really scary until she reads his mind.
Just in her mind, in his mind, is like how to love wife, how to
how to reach radishes on sale.
I could see her like low-key kind of almost bullying him, and him being just too wholesome to do anything back, and everybody else being just horrified that this little girl has mortally insulted a guy that looks like a Yakuza, but actually they're both totally cool with it.
And Anya would like Miku as well, because Miku is into like polycurie, and probably will introduce Anya to polycurie, and Anya introduce her to the spy show that she likes, and then they just both be fangirls.
That would be fun. So, to wrap up, do you have any final thoughts on Spy X Family?
Would recommend 100%.
Same, I would as well, and I really want to read on to find out who Loid was before getting into the spy business.
Oh.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Oh boy.
It's cute, it's polished, it's got action, it's got comedy. Strong recommend from me as well.
Enough about our thoughts of Spy X Family. Tell us your thoughts. In the comments down below, what would you rate Spy X Family? Would you keep on reading, or are you had enough of it? The spy antics, too much jokes, too many good drawings.
Too many good drawings. Aha. So what are we reading next episode?
Next episode, we are reading Kimi ni Todoke by Karuho China. So we are going to be reading up to and including chapter 16, which is the end of volume 4.
Lovely.
Okay. Thank you for listening to this episode of OCHATO. If you like this episode, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell and press that like to let us know, that you liked it.
I'm going to call you a sellout here. I'm sorry.
In the next episode.
Woo!